At a crucial moment for Eurasian security, India has delivered its strongest message yet against cross-border terrorism. Speaking at the SCO Council of Heads of Government in Moscow, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar declared that New Delhi will continue to defend its citizens against terror with full resolve. His remarks come just months after Operation Sindoor, India's direct military response to the Pahalgam terror attack, an operation that reshaped the region's counter-terrorism calculus.
At the SCO meeting, Jaishankar reminded member states of the organization's very foundation, the fight against terrorism, separatism and extremism. But he also underlined a blunt reality. These threats have only grown more complex and dangerous. The ministers stated clearly that there can be no justification, no dilution and no whitewash of terrorism, an unmistakable reference to Pakistan's attempts to politicize terror and deflect global scrutiny. For India, this is not just diplomacy, it is a matter of national security made more urgent after Pakistan-backed groups carried out the April 22 Pahalgam attack that claimed 26 Indian lives.
We must never forget that the SCO was founded to combat the three evils of terrorism, separatism and extremism. These threats have become even more serious in the years that have passed. It is imperative that the world display zero tolerance towards terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. There can be no justification, no looking away and no whitewashing. As India has demonstrated, we have the right to defend our people against terrorism and will exercise it. In conclusion, India believes that SCO must adapt to the changing global landscape, develop an expanded agenda, and reform its working methods. We will contribute positively and fully to these objectives.
India's position today is backed by action. In May, New Delhi launched Operation Sindoor, one of its most significant cross-border counter-terror missions in recent years. Beginning on May 7, India used fighter jets, precision missiles, armed drones and sustained artillery fire to strike terror camps and military installations across Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. The message was unmistakable. India will not absorb attacks, it will respond and respond decisively. The ceasefire on May 10 ended the exchange, but the strategic consequences continue. For the first time in years, Pakistan's terror infrastructure faced direct, targeted retaliation with international visibility, challenging Islamabad's long-standing belief that it could hide behind nuclear brinkmanship and diplomatic ambiguity. Experts say India's concerns are neither new or isolated. Terror networks cultivated in Pakistan and strengthened during decades of instability in Afghanistan continue to threaten the region.
Absolutely. I think he was right in his stating the Indian position and concern about the revival of terrorism in South Asia, especially after the Afghanistan's and the American occupation of Afghanistan, and even during the Al-Qaeda activity in Afghanistan, and where Pakistan was used as the hub center for all the extremist group. However, now after the American have left the area, and now Taliban is on rule in Afghanistan, and Pakistan also facing lots of difficulties and also handling all this extremist group, I think India's concern have been stated many times. And in fact, India was one of the main countries, or the first country in the world, who have submitted the comprehensive fight against terrorism draft to the UN, but unfortunately it have never been admitted or accepted by the international communities. And so therefore there should be zero tolerance, irrespective what you may call it, but for any kind of any form of terrorism.
Tensions inside the SCO remain high. Earlier this year, India refused to sign the SCO Defence Ministers' joint communique, not because of economic disagreements, but because the document deliberately ignored the Pahalgam terror attack while mentioning Balochistan and the hijacking of the Jafar Express. For India, this selective condemnation is unacceptable. New Delhi has consistently pushed the SCO to recognize Pakistan-backed terrorism as the region's primary destabilizing force. a demand that some members have hesitated to support due to political alignments. But India is now setting the tone. Any regional platform that ignores terrorism cannot claim credibility. Jaishankar's visit to Moscow comes at a time when India faces renewed US pressure to reduce purchases of Russian oil and defense hardware. But India remains firm. New Delhi continues to maintain a balanced strategic posture, emphasizing autonomy in defense partnerships and energy security. With President Putin expected in India in December, both sides are finalizing new bilateral agreements. This signals that despite geopolitical pressures, the India-Russia axis remains stable, especially in counter-terrorism and strategic cooperation. Jaishankar also called for stronger SCO institutions to tackle organized crime, drug trafficking and cyber threats, areas often exploited by terror groups operating from Pakistan. With terrorism once again reshaping global security priorities, India's message for Moscow is loud and unequivocal. Regional peace cannot be built on selective blindness. It must start with confronting the sources of terror head-on.